Are you ready to level up your journey? Welcome to Get On Top, where we dive deep into the riveting tales of self-made entrepreneurs and corporate titans who have scaled the summit of success. Get ready for a roller coaster of insights, inspiration, and a roadmap to elevate both your mindset and your life. This is Get On Top with Morgan Browne. Hi, James.
How you doing?
Welcome. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast for so many reasons.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We have so many parallels, and we had a great conversation the other day, and then I was like, we need to save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
We need to save it for the podcast.
We should have been recording during our coffee.
But I got to tell you, I have been so in awe of you, and I was telling you this the other day because you've been putting out something so meaningful, but also so curated, so custom, that it is something that is should be applauded for, because it's something that's so original. And I guess what I want to start with is kind of starting from the base of where you came from. Where did you come from? I was trying to think about you as, I think everything starts really well with, your DNA and where you're coming from and everything. So tell everybody where you're from, even though everyone feels like you're such a Vancouverite. And that's what I've got from people. This guy loves our city, love everything about it. So tell us about where you're from and when you came to Vancouver. Yeah.
Well, my mom's Canadian, so I'm a dual citizen.
That's right. So you are Canadian.
I am. I got both the passports. But I grew up in Canberra in Australia, and my first visit to Vancouver was when I was 3 months old. So I was back and forth between Australia and Canada my whole life. So every couple of years, my mum would bring me back to visit my grandparents and my cousins. And
where would they bring you? Do you remember what streets?
My grandmother, Mary, she lived right behind what is Oak Ridge Mall now.
Okay.
So Canby and 41st area.
Okay.
Is kind of my memories. And there's a very distinct smell of the elevator that I remember, and it has the same smell as the side elevator at the Vancouver Club. Every time I got in that elevator, I was like,
funny. You're like, it
nostalgia.
feels like home.
It does. And that was it. Every time I came to Canada when I was a kid, something about it felt comfortable and right. And I knew that I was going to move to Vancouver one day from the time I was 5.
Oh, it's you even remember that?
Yeah, very clearly.
Wow.
Very clearly. And it's not that I love Australia. I love my friends and family that are there, but Canada always seemed to be my calling.
And were your parents wanting to move here ever? Or were they like, you're going to go?
No. My mom, I have more family in Canada than I do in Australia.
It's so amazing.
So my mom went as a last hurrah to Australia for a trip with her girlfriend before she was supposed to marry some local fellow. And meets my dad in a town called Derby in the outback nowhere, Western Australia.
Oh my gosh.
And classic bush romance, fall in love, start traveling around Australia. And then you'll love this. My dad, when she was like, hey, it's time for me to go home. Okay. He gave her a one-way ticket and said, if you ever want to come back, I'll be here.
Oh, romantic.
Right? So
oh my goodness. Right? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I would have stopped. I would have been like, I'm never leaving
So
you.
Mom came back to Canada and considered her options and said, how do I say no? So she moved back, and this was in the 70s.
So you grew up
in Canberra.
And you were there, and then what were you doing in Canberra? What was the what were the things after high school?
So
I guess
first year out, I went and traveled.
Cool.
And I came to Canada and spent 6 or 8 weeks here in Vancouver and hanging out with my cousins that I hadn't met. My cousin Mark Landrigan, Kyle Landrigan, Catherine, that whole crew. And hung out in Vancouver for about 6 or 8 weeks. And I was like, yeah, this feels right. And then I traveled, went back to Australia, went to university, studied public relations and marketing. And
makes sense.
Yeah, I was doing a law degree as well. I wanted to be Ari Gold.
Oh, yes. Ari Gold.
Right?
Who doesn't want to be Ari Gold?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was working in hospitality the whole time since I was 13 years old. Always had that work ethic that I went to school, but I also had a job, and that gave me money to go and do whatever I wanted with my friends. So hospitality was kind of my gateway. And my dad said to me as a kid, he's like, learn to make coffee and you can get a job in any country, anywhere in the world.
Very good tip. Very good tip.
Still to this day, some of the best advice.
Yeah, still, honestly, so simple and so true. Yeah. And so you started to kind of, so obviously you did your studies there. You came back to Vancouver.
Yeah. So
how did it go from there?
So I finished my public relations degree.
Okay.
Didn't finish my law degree.
Okay, that's fine. PR is all good. You're making something of it.
Yeah. But my uncle and my godfather, my uncle, Browne, was getting married to a wonderful woman who was at the top of her game in public relations in Vancouver the year after I graduated from public relations, in the city that I'd always wanted to move to in the lead up to the Olympics, which I wanted to be around for. And so, all the signs were there.
Yeah, the stars aligned.
Yeah, trusted my gut with it. I read The Alchemist as a young 20-year-old lad, and it made a profound impact on me, and still does to this day. That there's the signals in life that if you're aware of them and open to them, they'll guide you to your treasure. And if you don't act on them, that's okay.
Yeah,
you'll be fine. But
you'll be fine
if you really want to live the full life that you're capable of, that was trusting the signs was a big part of it. So I looked at that. I was 22, I think, and I was like, had an opportunity to start a public relations firm in Canberra with like a wonderful friend and mentor, and said, what, I got to go. Well, I said I've got to go to Canada and see, and I knew that I could always go back, and just I didn't. So got here in March 2007.
And then so you came here. You basically had a position. You were like ready to go. What was like? I mean, what did it feel like? I think coming to a city that you felt so connected to already. And like, what was like the hope, I guess, at that time when you walked into it?
Well, I felt connected to it, but then I quickly realized how much, how cliquey, I guess it was in a lot of ways. That, like people were friendly, but they weren't your friends.
I feel that. Yeah. Yeah. I hate that.
It's kind of, but it was, and that's what it was. And that's okay. It was what it was. And so I started exploring, looking for a job, and knew that hospitality was what I could rely on. My hope was to work for Vancouver, or one of the big sponsors for the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I started at the Vancouver Club in a banquet role, serving tables, and that's my background. Service.
Wow, the club scene too, like going into the Vancouver Club. Yeah. And for those who do not know what the Vancouver Club is, I mean, I think everyone does, but what would be like a kind of a one-liner phrase of what that institution is?
Well, it's a private members club that's been around for over 100 years, and it's where the city's most influential, powerful, and well-heeled people would come and congregate and do business and have social events. And I just remember when I walked past the club the first time, seeing the brass rails out the front.
So iconic.
Yeah, and then looking up and saying, you don't see that in Canberra. So I was a little bit like curious, and walked in the front door and said, do you have a restaurant? Like, here's my resume.
Wonderful.
And sure enough, they called me the next day and said, we need somebody to serve a wedding. So off I went, and then about a week later, I was working in the dining room, and I got to meet my good friend and mentor, Philip Ireland. Actually,
Legend,
funny story,
yes,
my first interaction with him. So I had just moved, and I had forgotten to take from my parents' apartment to my new apartment my like shaving kit.
Okay.
And I didn't, young scruffy Aussie boy, whatever. So I showed up, and on my first day, they didn't have the right size shirt for me or the right size vest. So I had a small vest and a double XL shirt. So it was billowing out the sides. And then I had like my little peach fuzz. And I just remember like learning the POS system, and Philip standing there looking at me. And I didn't know he was watching me, but I felt this presence. And I looked up, and he's just standing there watching me. And then he turns on his heel and walks away. And then about 5 minutes later, one of the other young guys comes up and he says, boss has asked me to teach the Aussie how to groom himself. Follow me. And he gave me like a lesson on how to shave. I'm like, I know how to shave. I just forgot my razor. So anyway, that was quite the introduction to the club, because there was a style of hospitality that they wanted, and a certain look. And, you can't be serving Jimmy Patterson if you've got a gross, scrubbly looking Aussie beard. So...
You talked to me a little bit about Philip and mentorship. How much is that something that has really like spoken to you throughout your time? Like, do you reference, how important is it to you?
Huge.
Yeah.
Mentorship's huge.
Yeah.
To be mentored and to be a mentee. No. To be a mentor and to be a mentee is really, I think, important in business and in life. So he was a wonderful influence. He really honed in on the details. So, your shoes say a lot about you as a man. That was something that never even occurred to me.
Wow.
Right? You know, the culture that he wanted to bring was certainly a high level of service, but he also gave the younger staff who were learning the craft the opportunity to fail.
Okay.
But the tools to succeed.
And how did he do that? How would he do that, like, in a regular space for people to see it?
When we were at the club, that era was a big push to bring the next generation in.
Yeah.
The younger members.
Yes.
And so instead of having somebody who was in their 40s or 50s try and pitch to 20s and 30s, he put a 20s and 30s in a place to engage with those prospective members. And so we were not only in the process of selling the memberships, but we also got taught how to build a marketing campaign. We got taught how to do budgets, how to read a P&L, how to read a balance sheet, and learnt the fundamentals of the business side as well as the hospitality acumen. But then he would also teach you the little things just of life in general, the importance of grooming well, brush your teeth.
Wow. Like, come on.
Crazy. Like, I thought I brushed my teeth a lot, but he, you know, like, he had a very...
like, schedule, like
Oh, yeah.
I guess that was a huge part of the service business. I've been in it too. And I mean, the standard, and what you do too, which is really curating these incredible standards of service, right? Like, did you learn a lot of that during your time and your experience at the Vancouver Club? Or was it something that you were always fascinated with when you were in Australia?
I wasn't fascinated by it. It was just a way to pay the bills. But when I started at the Vancouver Club, I learnt that there was sort of a levels to it. And what I really took away from it by the end of it was that our role wasn't just to provide service, like put food and drink on the table.
Yeah.
It was actually to facilitate business opportunities. And so as a members club that people are paying a membership to be a part of, our role as the hospitality professionals was to facilitate their business opportunities.
Amazing.
Right. So I learned so much about business purely by serving some of the best business people in the country.
Of course.
In the dining rooms or at events, how they acted, where they, you know, did they wait for their guest in the lobby? Did they go straight in and sit? Did they stand up to greet somebody? How they interacted with the service professionals? You know, so from observing these super high level business people and then having a mentor like Philip on the hospitality side, you know, I got to absorb a lot. And when I left the club, I said to Philip in my farewell speech, you know, for the last 11 years, you've been paying me. For the education I've gotten, I should have been paying you.
Oh my gosh. There was a tearjerker moment at the VC. You know? But it's such a brilliant thing. Like, I mean, I truly believe that you have to show somebody for them to actually implement it. Like, you have to see it. Yeah. Like, for what it is, right? And to aspire to it, right? And you really, I think the Vancouver Club obviously gave you that. Yeah. How did you do that for your people? Like, on the way, in the sense of the people your staff that you were working with? Because obviously you were the Vancouver Club. How did you pretty much went and got on top all the way to the top of where you could be in Vancouver Club for you to do that before you decided to do these incredible ventures, which we're going to speak about. But what was it? Where was it? Like, what did you see? How did you show that to the people that were watching you as well? Well,
one of the first things, once Philip had identified like myself and a few other colleagues as a starting level, he put us in the position like in the fine dining room and in positions to sort of challenge ourselves. And then he was always looking for the next people below us to help them. And I remember very specifically, there was a young fella by the name of John Richard, who's, for those that know Johnny in the city, he's got a company called Champlain. And so they do fabulous work. But so when Johnny moved here from Quebec, he could hardly speak English. And he was a banquet server. He looked good. He had the charm and the charisma, but he didn't really have the language. And I remember Philip saying to me, make sure that he is successful. He's yours now. You look after him and make sure that he's successful. Wow. And my colleague Megan had the same responsibility with another woman by the name of Martha, who was just new to the club. And so he gave us that responsibility to make sure that they were successful while he made sure that we were successful. So that idea of mentor and mentee was passed down very intentionally from him to us. So whenever something would have to happen, so in the same way that fella came up and taught me how to shave, he was mentoring me, but that was on instruction from Philip. So the idea is that we hold ourselves accountable, so it doesn't have to be the boss calling you out. It's that everybody understands the level of standards all the way down.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant
Yeah.
and easy.
Yeah.
Something so easy.
Yeah.
So going through your whole the BC life, what made you take off? Like, what was the big thing that made you transition to the next spot for you and to start these incredible pieces like Chef's Favorite, Memento, like all of the key things that you're working on?
Well, we had our kind of, I'd say glory years, but we had a bit of a peak when we really hammered the under 35 category and filled it up with amazing, young, up and coming businessmen and women from around the city. And
how many members did you do in it? Like
over 3 years, I think it was like 380 new members under 35 over the course of 3 years. And
wow.
And my personal role had gone from trying to sell the memberships to now maintaining the memberships and
retaining them, keeping them going.
And that was one of the things that whenever we would talk to the next generation of staff or new staff coming in, there was two jobs that we had. One was to sell a membership, one was to retain a membership.
Of course.
That was
That's it. Two things.
In every position in that place, whether you're the chef, the dishwasher, the front doorman, the porter, you name it, they're all doing two jobs, selling and maintaining a membership. That's it. And so we were really good at it. And the private club industry globally is dying. It's aging out and they're not adapting because they're so stuck on their traditions and their history
that they
don't adapt. So the resistance to the evolution is a big problem in the industry. And so we were being approached by private clubs around the world saying, how did you guys do this? What was it?
The growth was unbelievable.
Yeah. And so Philip, he was like, look, I'm trying to run the club. You go talk to them. You were part of that. You go talk to them. Next thing, I'm doing conferences with a colleague, Megan, where we're talking to private clubs in Australia about how to evolve memberships. And we're going to conferences around North America talking about what Vancouver Club had done to be successful. And that's when I started to realize that maybe there was an opportunity outside the club. I was on a path where I was being groomed to be qualified to be a general manager of a private club, but did I really want that at that age? And I felt like it was going to limit my opportunities in the future. And plus my parents getting older in Australia, I wanted the ability to go back and forth and spend time with them.
Of course.
So knowing that Australia has a private club industry that needs help, know that my parents are there, maybe I can be a private club consultant and I can do travel back and forth and see my parents more often as they're getting older.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So 2018, I left the club.
You followed the stars.
That's right.
Again.
That's right.
How do you hear those? How do you look at those? I mean, so many entrepreneurs and business owners and, really, to be honest, a lot of corporate titans, they're afraid. They get stagnant. They get complacent. I would say some of them for sure. And they tell me that. How do you think you overcame that and started to recognize kind of the next spot? Was it just when you were ready or I
just knew that when I looked at my future, the course that I was on, was that actually what I wanted? Because when I started the club, it wasn't to start at the club. That was to pay the bills so I could figure out a way to do something with the Olympics and public relations.
Yeah, of course.
But once I got there, it was very special and I kind of fell in love with it. But then, after 11 years, do I want to be a private club manager?
Yeah.
Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? And I decided no, that it wasn't. But I knew that I had an expertise in this very niche field with a market that needed support for that service that would also allow me to pursue my own personal desires of being around my family, my parents more, while still traveling and getting paid to do it.
Yeah, wonderful.
So
took the leap.
I've never been afraid of taking a chance because I know that I can make chicken salad from chicken shit.
Yeah, I like that. That's a real good. That's a gut.
It's one of those things where it's like I'm naturally an optimistic person. And
there's some people like that gamble.
Yeah,
a bit.
I love
I'm like that person that I like. Yeah. I'm like throw it down. Let's go.
Well, it's almost one of those things where it's like either you succeed or you learn.
Yeah,
and it's just how you accept that.
Do you find that are you become resistant to that fear, or are you kind of more like you just go right into it? Yeah, that's like a true titan space.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. So you started to basically hold these incredible conferences, getting asked to talk to these private clubs,
consulting with them, helping them with their guest experience, member experience,
Wow.
membership strategy, event planning, how to create memorable. So we the company started as J Grass Hospitality and Strategy Incorporated, which I've since learned is far too long of a name.
It's a long name.
Brutal.
You're in PR and marketing.
Yeah. I know. I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted everybody to know what I did.
It works. It works.
So that was where the consulting business started, and then I found my way into some weird other roles. I had a very funny gig. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this, but we'll say it anyway.
You can cut it out later.
I had a great opportunity to work with a guy by the name of Craig Richmond, who is the CEO of YVR Airport.
Great. And
they had just had their 10th year as best airport in North America. And he said, I want the 11th year. I don't want us to get complacent. I'd love for you to come and do a passenger experience audit. So
wow.
So
this is interesting.
This is fun. So you know the show Undercover Boss?
Of course.
So I went undercover.
What were you wearing? Or you're just like, you're just like a normal guy.
I went and worked at the airport for a company called Dextera, who had the customer service project. And I went through the training process as if I was a brand new hire, learned what they were training on, and then worked in all the different areas in the airport with the customer interaction to see if the training matched the in real life experiences. And then so I did like 125 hours.
Wow.
Wearing the little
YVR
blue
outfit.
Scanning the codes and doing the whole bit. And I did that for about 3.5 weeks, and then wrote a big report on the passenger experience opportunities and what was meeting standards, what was the worst
part of that experience, and how did you end up? Did you see it change?
Well, so I was only there for 3.5 weeks, but I got to work in all the areas. One of the wildest things was the arrival experience, showing up at 5 a.m. to be helping with people doing their passport check-ins as they go through customs, and having 4 huge flights come in from India at the same time.
What?
And I don't speak any any of that language.
Yeah.
So, but these people are like, they want you to help them, and so you're trying to help
converse
without being
with them.
Yeah, it was, and there was like, and I just remember looking up at the 2 staircases coming down into that arrival area.
Yeah, the arrival area.
And it's just streams of people. But the team with it was so dialed. They could see, they knew how many planes were landing. They knew how many people. So they had everything pre-set up with all the different little ropes and avenues, and like it was honestly, it was like
it's beautiful.
It was really cool to watch,
because like I would say like YVR, I am very lucky that I can travel. It's one of the best experiences, I think. Still to this day, I still think it's great. 100%. And so everyone that goes through our airport,
they love
make sure that you give them props, because it's such an experience.
It's a hard job.
Now, like getting that consulting out there and having that conversations with these people about, some of the many of the companies that you've worked with, what is the thing that most people in the service businesses are missing? Like, what do you think they're missing as a whole, if they're missing anything? Like, what can they not nail?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, even if it's like, let's just say a restaurant. What can't they is there just one thing that you're like, if you just change this one thing, your restaurant,
the arrival experience is crucial.
Yeah, it's so true. The onboarding, like
welcoming people into your space, whether you like, if you're a restaurant, whether you're a landscaping business, a law firm, a doctor's office, the arrival experience is so crucial. And so one of the things that I always, look at for the arrival experience when we are doing an event is get a drink in their people's hands.
That's right.
You get a drink in somebody's hands and say hi, you've bought yourself time. Even if you're not ready in the back, just acknowledge them, say hi, get a drink, and you've bought yourself 20 minutes. But the other big one for me, and this is again maybe a little bit event specific, is you got to nail the coat check. The coat check's the most important thing of an event.
I'm laughing because it is so true.
Yeah.
When you go to a concert, I'm just going to say this, at the Commodore, because I'm a concert person, I'm like, guys, it's just the flow. You just got to keep the flow going. I'm almost going to get back over there and help them out.
You got to get the coat check right.
And
often what happens is the newest and least experienced person gets thrown onto it because it's not as important as making sure that the food goes out and the drinks go out, which, don't get me wrong, super important.
Yeah.
But I'll give you an example. I did an extravaganza at the Vancouver Club, and I decided to get really imaginative with the arrival experience and
Okay.
had 3 entrances.
That's cool.
It was very cool in theory, except it was in the night there was a crazy storm. We opened the doors and people thought there was only 1 entrance. So everybody was lined up in the rain at 1 entrance, and we didn't realize that there was nobody going through the other entrances. And I couldn't figure out why this one coat check was getting slammed, and we screwed it up. And it took us an hour and a half to get everybody in. There's 800 people.
Wow.
Right? So
where can you hold that at the Vancouver club?
Between all 5 floors.
Oh, all 5 floors, the whole club.
The whole club was a giant party.
Wow.
So I screwed up the coat check. And so then we had long lines. People were frustrated when they walked in. And at that point, the arrival experience is shot. So everything else is you're pushing shit uphill.
Mm-hmm,
right?
Of course.
So then let me give you the other end of the experience, which this didn't happen, fortunately. But say you go to a party and it's incredible. And you've had a tough time with the arrival experience with the coat check. You get in there, Mariah Carey's singing, there's the best chef in the world serving food, whatever. And at the end of the night, you leave and you've got your little coat check ticket and you go to the coat check and they go, don't know where your coat is. Okay. So the story the next day.
Where's my coat?
You've just lost somebody's $100,000,
$2,000,
$5,000 coat. But so the next day, what's the story? Hey, how was that party you went to last night, Morgan?
My coat, it was gone. / I found it in the later times of the day.
But you don't mention Mariah Carey was singing.
No.
You don't mention that the best chef in the world was there.
No.
They lost my goddamn coat. So that for me is like one of those little details when we think about experiences where that little piece is so crucial to the overall success of an event. So when we think about services in general, what's your coat check version? What's the coat check equivalent for a doctor's office? What's the coat check equivalent for the legal office? What's the coat check equivalent for the accounting office?
Oh, it's so good.
Right?
James, it is so good. Because it is, it's all about, even just for like our company, trying to figure out how that is going to be the most memorable time. And I think if it starts off with a bang, that you're kind of carried through you're right. Yeah. For a long period. It's like having that glass of champagne, giving it some time, right?
Yeah.
Where are people nailing it? Like where, other than the coat check, where are you seeing people in the industry all over, all the events, all the things that people are finally seeing the new trend? Like what's the new trend, I guess, in hospitality?
I think that the era of small plates is sort of going away a little bit, and the share plates.
Yeah,
and it's going more towards small plates, more specific curated experiences, more cocktail tied to food, lots more non-alcoholic options.
That's happening a lot.
Huge, and it's so important because people still want to go out and have a good time. They don't necessarily want to drink. That's fine. You can still curate an amazing experience in a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, I feel like there's one thing I wish people could nail. Like I have a lot of non-alcoholic friends and they always feel out of place when we're all ordering. I can feel it. I can feel it on them. Yeah. They feel awkward. They have to say the non-alcoholic thing all the time. Like it's actually really something I think if someone could figure out that non-alcoholic to take it away where people don't feel like it's an awkwardness. Yeah. They will nail it.
Yeah, I think we're there at a hospitality cultural level.
Okay, great.
In a lot of the best places in the city, and it's starting to permeate into the wider market. That a non-alcoholic option doesn't have to be apple juice.
No, exactly. Please.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a little bit about. I want you to take me back to the beginning about what sparked this creation of Chef's Favorite. Yeah. Tell me about it. What? This is. I was going to say, good day, mate.
G'day, mate.
You came on.
G'day, mate.
My husband said that to me today. He goes, you need to start with good day, mate. I was like, oh, okay, he's a massive fan. He loves it. Last night he was watching it just on like replay all the way down. I was like, oh my gosh. So tell me about.
What's your husband's name?
Sean.
G'day, mate. Sean. G'day, mate.
Oh, he'll love you. He'll love you. So tell me what's the moment that sparked this whole thing?
Start of 2021.
Okay.
So 2020, I was lucky. I had a contract that saw me through 2020 and things were starting to look up at the end of 2020. Yeah, maybe the world's going to reopen. And then if you remember in January, they're like, oh, the third wave and everything got shut down again. And I had like 6 contracts lined up for 2021. I was very excited. This was promising to be my most successful year in being a solopreneur at the time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden 6 contracts evaporated. And so then I'm walking around trying to figure out what to do with my life. Fell into a bit of a depression, to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and so I spent a lot of time walking on the seawall.
Is that how you conquered that?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I had to move.
You had to move?
I stopped moving. I would sit at home and I would sit there and I would try and write ideas and I would write things and nothing happened. So I started walking. I put on a stack of weight as well.
Yeah.
And so just like I started walking for 2 hours at a time, put in a podcast, put in music, whatever. And I would just go and walk and I would have ideas and maybe smoke a little weed.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then I'd call somebody and be like, hey, what do you think about this idea? Or I'd meet up with a chef and we'd talk about this and that. And then, you know, one day I was sitting there watching, reading this things in Dished and Van Mag about all these different restaurants closing, and it was
terrible.
It was tough to watch because there was a lot of people that I respected or people that I knew personally, but it wasn't their name; it was just the restaurant name, and that bugged me. And so I kind of thought, well, if I can't promote myself through my events and my experiences, maybe there's a way to stay in the conversation without having to do the events. So one of my favorite expressions is, "Don't tell me you're funny, tell me a joke."
Best.
Right. So as I think about this, how do I apply that
knock.
Here we go. How do we apply that to hospitality?
Right.
So don't tell me you're in hospitality. Show me you're in hospitality.
Show it to me.
So then Chef's Favorite was started initially as the marketing for the consulting business. And the idea was that I would try and help the industry by telling the stories of the chefs. So as a front of house guy, I think my superpower is that I can talk to chefs because I quite literally represent their food when I'm working the floor.
Is it hard to talk to chefs? Yeah. For those people out there?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, everybody. It's really challenging because they're artists.
They are artists.
Yeah, they are artists.
And they are very passionate and they don't have to talk to the customer, but they get to talk to you. And so, you know, some of the warmest people I know are chefs, but also some of the hardest people I know are chefs.
Wow.
And my job as a front of house guy is to take their creation and sell it on the floor. So representing their food in the most literal sense. So then I thought, well, maybe there's a way that I can help the industry while this is going on by telling their stories. And then hopefully by virtue of that, in the future, when the world reopens, people would go, hey, that guy's in hospitality. Maybe he can help us, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right.
So
brilliant. Just, no, not like, I think it's like, again, you were looking at those stars, it just kind of aligned again for you.
Yeah.
I feel like there's this is something that most solo entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs kind of put the blinders on when those moments happen. And you were able to follow that North Star and kind of build it in, but also build something that I think was needed, right? I mean, what do you feel like the Chef's Favorite whole wing at that time really filled?
For me personally or for the industry?
For like the overall media, like in the industry.
It's funny, I didn't start it with the intention of trying to fill a space in the media necessarily.
Yeah. But now
it has in its own weird way.
That's why everyone's watching you, James.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. When it was started, it was just purely as another opportunity to have the chefs have a voice. And I felt that was one thing in the hospitality industry, that everybody liked the food, but nobody knew who the people were that were making it or the cocktails. And so in order to tell their story and to tell my story, I thought that maybe that was a way to do it. And the idea being that, you know, you could watch the chefs on our little show on YouTube or Instagram, but then you would also get to experience them when we would do our events. Because again, to go back to that idea of don't tell me you're funny, tell me a joke, we have to do events with chefs in order to keep ourselves sharp as hospitality professionals.
Beautiful.
So
it's a marriage. It's a partnership.
I have to, yeah.
It has to.
So the idea was that we would tell the story of this chef through our videos, which started on YouTube. And then we would do an event with those chefs where people would come and experience their food in an unusual venue. And we would pair it with cocktails and wine and create this experience around it, which would showcase our hospitality acumen as well as theirs.
Beautiful.
That was the intent of it. And so we did 8 episodes on YouTube that were beautifully edited and produced. Cost a wackadow to make them.
Of course.
And nobody watched them, which fair enough. Like, who is this guy? What is this guy doing? And so we did 8 episodes, which are still on YouTube. And I'm very proud of them. And I want to go back to the long form.
Yeah, I think so. It's
but we
great.
needed to find a way to make it applicable to what was working in the marketplace, which is Instagram at the time. And so we were back in Australia, my wife and I, who's very savvy on social media. And she said, you need to be under 2 minutes.
Kelly's the queen.
She is.
That's it. She's the queen.
Shout out Kelly Treerise, Boss Boudoir.
That's right.
Yeah. So she and I were talking about it, and she said, well, how do we take the best parts of it? And that was the idea of saying like the chef's favorite dish, and then getting to know a little bit about them, and then their favorite place around the city. So the idea was that the chefs were promoting each other and supporting each other through our channel. That was the intent.
That's the intent. But I think it filled something even larger. Like now people are looking for, I think everybody nowadays wants a recommendation, whether that's just on like a Google review or going on TikTok and just flying through all where they're going. This filling up the chef's favorite is kind of like taking you into the secret layer, and you feel this kind of, I guess, kind of behind the curtains feeling of who like where they're getting their inspiration from. Right. And I think that's what you filled. I don't know, as who was watching it.
Yeah, well, and that was the intent. I mean, mates on crates, right? So that was the question that was posed. Where do the best conversations in hospitality happen? On a milk crate out the back with a cigarette and a coffee.
Beautiful.
And that's where you get the gossip, who's opening the new restaurant, who just got fired, all that kind of stuff. It all happens on the milk crate out the back.
Yeah, like I remember that, guys, with the cigarette. I'd have a cigarette with a milk crate, call out everybody at Earl's at that time when I was there. But you did fill that void, right?
And we very intentionally don't use the word best.
Oh, okay. This is very important.
Yeah. So, everybody has best, but it's subjective. You can argue best.
Yes.
But Morgan's favorite cannot be wrong because it's subjective. It's yours.
It's mine.
And your favorite it could be for a variety of reasons. It could be because the
ambiance.
You could have gotten engaged there.
I could have.
You might have had your last
connection.
There's a million reasons why it's your favorite. So this question is getting into that personal side from the chef. It's like, what's your favorite?
What do you hope chef's favorite really, I guess, how do you feel, how like shapes the experience of these restaurants? Like you're bringing people into these people's restaurants. How do you think chef's favorites is really shaping their experience more? Because it is doing that.
For the restaurant?
For the customer. I think the customer, after they see chef's favorites, it's shaping something different for everybody. How do you wish that to be seen, I guess?
That's a good question. I think that the intent of it is that you get to know the chef and you get to understand the why a little bit more.
Yes.
Why do they make it like this? Why do they cook it like that? Or, because chefs spend so much time in a kitchen. Like you sit down at 6 p.m. for dinner. The chef's been there since 10 a.m.
That's right. They're prepping, they're going.
And left the restaurant at 3 a.m. the night before. So when you think about what the chef is putting into that dish, there's so much time and commitment to it that getting to know the chef, you get to have an appreciation for the why. And then if you find them a little bit funny or quirky, maybe you're a little bit more inclined to go back and try the food. Maybe you went to that restaurant, you didn't think it was that great. But now you've seen that chef or that general manager on the show and you're like, oh, yeah, maybe I want to try that again.
I'll tell you how chef's favorite is shaping it for the customer.
Okay.
This is what I think, that you have done something so special, James. And I'm going to shout you out. We no longer I personally think, just the name of the restaurant. There is a connection now between the chef and the restaurant. And sometimes they'll say the chef's name before the restaurant. And that is how you're shaping it. That is like goosebumps for me, right?
I've never thought about it.
Yeah, and it's really, Chef's Favorite has really done that. I mean, I'm going to a restaurant this week, which I told you about, and luckily I know some people that know the chef. And so I said, can I get into this restaurant? And they said, yeah. And I immediately knew, I said the name of the chef first. And then I just went for the reservation. It was very funny. And I said, that's all because of Chef's Favorite. That's not because of, so you are doing that. And I think.
It's very humbling to hear that, because it's not that, I guess in retrospect, I guess that was the intent, but I never really thought that's what it would happen.
That's what's happening. People are now putting the connections between the two. And I mean, can you describe, I guess, chef's favorites, I guess what the storytelling is going to come? Like you said, you want to go from short to long. What do you want to accomplish there? Well, in 2026, I think, leading in and beyond.
2026, big year.
What's the vision?
Well, I think that chefs are very interesting people. And I think that people are curious about chefs. The thing with the hospitality business and chefs, everybody eats. Sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes more. Everybody eats all the time.
Yeah.
So the idea of food and being able to cook food and enjoy food is such a cultural and singularly important part of society in general. So what is the biggest stories that the chefs are getting into? So where does the food come from? What are the farmers all about? What are the fishing, the agriculture that goes into it? Let's talk about the wine scene. Let's go and explore the wine scene, but not from so much this wine tastes like that because of the terroir this. Millions of people have done that. But let's go find out why this person decided to go and open a winery, and what's the most hilarious part about their job? What's the most challenging part about their job? What is it that gets them out of bed in the morning? What makes them think about quitting? That's the stories that we want to tell.
What's their home life like?
Well, yeah. Do you have
I
one?
want to know what their home life.
So next year the intention is to expand and to have a series and build our YouTube.
Amazing.
We've got some plans to do some short animated stuff, which we'll talk about. Maybe a podcast.
We love this. Exciting. We love this.
And then we want to get out into regional BC. So we did a great trip to Victoria earlier this year, which was the precursor to Mates on Crates Victoria. But I had to head home for a family emergency and didn't get to film it. But on the research trip, we went to 24 places in 48 hours. And the rule was...
What?
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. I didn't eat for 3 days afterwards. But
you must have been so full.
So full. And so the intention was to do 1 cocktail and 1 snack at each place, which we achieved. Unbelievable. By the way, shout out to Victoria.
Gosh.
Incredible
Can we talk about Victoria?
Sure. Big fan.
I just we opened an office in Victoria right on Johnson. And Yates. We're very close into the city.
Yeah.
I was blown away at their scene. The cocktails.
Sneaky good.
They're so good.
Sneaky good. Great breweries, great restaurants, distilleries. The hospitality acumen over there is actually
it's really high.
Class.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
And very underrated. So next year Victoria we're going to be hitting up. I'd love to get into, like I said, regional BC. I've got some friends up in Rossland. I've got friends in Squamish. Tofino.
You're going to Yuki.
We got to do
going
the whole
to Yuki.
Bit. Yeah.
So we're going to see that. We're going to see that come to light.
That's right.
I mean, how does Chef's Favorite plan to stay ahead of that space in the media? Of course you're going to go to more of that, maybe short to long, but with all these dining trends and I think storytelling, what's going to keep you guys ahead of it all, you think?
I haven't really thought.
It's constantly shifting, right?
Yeah, it's constantly changing. I think, I haven't really thought about that, if I'm honest. I'm so singularly focused on one thing, which is telling the stories of hospitality.
Beautiful.
And that's in all forms. Video, content, podcast.
I'd be so, as much as the chef's favorite, I want to know the GM's, the GM guys, the ones that are keeping that standard.
Oh yeah.
Those guys, I think, where your position was in that fine dining space, it's that marriage that brings that together, right? So I want to get some sneakiness on that too. I'd love for you to bring that to light.
Chef's Favorite is the overarching theme, but Chef's Favorite is applicable to all elements of hospitality. So I don't limit it to just the chefs.
Yeah, I love it.
We want to get to know the most incredible bartenders. We want to get to know the farmers, the sommeliers, the general managers. We want to tell all of those stories because people who open restaurants are clinically nuts. You got to be crazy.
I know. I went to college and I was like, I'm going to open a restaurant. And then I was like, I'm not going to open a restaurant.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have to have so much passion.
Yeah.
It's really, and I guess that's a great kind of being able to allude into this as well. Seeing all these incredible chefs, what's the one thing that you've picked up from all restaurant owners what's maybe one trait that you've watched that has made them go from 0 to being at 100, the top?
Yeah, the best of the best tend to be very stubborn. They tend to have an unshakable belief in where they're trying to go. And so I think where a lot of restaurants get into trouble is when they start flip-flopping on concepts and trying to be too broad. And I think that in this economy, and this market, particularly in Vancouver, focusing in on a niche and nailing that niche. Like if you're going to be a dive bar, just be the best version of a dive bar. If you're going to be, a Mexican restaurant that is amazing for their quesadilla tacos, then be the best at that. And hammer that and make a name for that. And then if you can nail that, then you want to talk about scaling, maybe.
Okay.
Right. So I think that commitment to being consistent and nailing your niche is so important. But then the other part that is really the most underrated part of hospitality is being a good business person.
Of course.
You have to know the numbers. And again, my mentor, Philip, he used to drill me to the point where I would I even get chills thinking about him. I'm going to see him tonight.
My God.
And he's going to ask me, what's the difference between gross profit and gross revenue?
Oh, he's going to go right in there.
Right. And all of a sudden I'll be like, oh no. And I know the answer, but when he asks, fucking lose it. So he, that part of the business is so crucial, is understanding the margins, because they're razor thin. And if you're a couple percentage points in either direction, it's the difference between success and failure in the hospitality business.
Yeah, it's all about, we always say that, everyone's always worried about, bringing in those revenues all the time, but it's as important for all your expenses, knowing what your cost is, and also curating something that actually can stand the test of time. I think a lot of business owners forget, when those hard numbers are happening, it's the marriage of that service, right? Now, I'm excited about one of your latest projects that is, I think, going to be just, I'm only wishing the best of this, because it's a massive piece, which is Le Crocodile, the documentary. And what made you do this? This is, now you're shifting. You were like, not even shifting. You were like, let's go into this. You went back to this documentary space that you've been in before.
Well, no,
right?
This is our first documentary, but
true. Yeah.
So the long form, I guess, that we had on YouTube was documentary-esque. Yeah.
Yes.
30 minutes, 25 minutes. But it was Michelle Jacob had announced that he was going to be closing Le Crocodile, retiring and moving on after 41 years. And one of my most formative dining experiences in Vancouver when I first moved here was at Le Crocodile. So I've had the utmost respect for Chef Michel, and he did a few events at the Vancouver Club over the years, and I got to watch him. And I'd never to this day seen a chef strike not fear but genuine respect from every single chef in the kitchen. The moment he walked in, the most bombastic of sous chefs went absolutely quiet.
Wow.
And that's one thing that we watched in the final week, is he hardly talks above a whisper. And everybody in the kitchen knows what's going on.
Wow.
He's incredible. So the documentary, he announced it. I had a buddy who is a movie producer, and he's like, hey, you should make a documentary about this. And I go, I've never made a documentary before. How hard can it be? Sure, let's do it.
This is the No Fear with you.
Yeah. And
it's just like, let's go.
He said, we'll figure it out. I'll connect you with the right people. And sure enough, so we found a co-director, we found financing, we got the best cameras that we could buy for, in the business, that 4K, ready to go, Netflix, Amazon, whatever. So we wanted to make a feature, 90-minute feature, and we followed the last week of Michelle's journey at Le Crocodile. And the story that we're telling is 41 years of commitment to the business. Michelle never took more than a week off at a time. The only time that he did was to watch his son row at the Olympics, which he took 12 days off.
That's okay.
Crazy, right?
Crazy.
So he was there every night on the line, overseeing every dish. The way he designed the kitchens, he could see the front door from his station at the pass. He knew every guest that came in. And the brilliant thing that, above all, is that he was as good in the front of house as he was on the back.
He was. Legend. Sorry, just
incredible.
I can't.
So I got to
and he'd move around the whole restaurant.
He's unbelievable. And so so this came up, and so I approached him.
Iconic.
I said, hey chef, we got this weird mates on crates thing over here, and chef's favorite. Would you be willing for us to make a documentary and follow your final week? And he agreed. Holy shit. Okay. So we're live here. So the intention is to tell his story and his impact on the city and the country, frankly, of the talent tree that stems off him. If you think
the lineage of the
lineage,
city.
Exactly. So, he was the mentor to the great Rob Feeney, who's now taken over Le Crocodile.
That's right.
David Hawksworth worked for him, Ned Bell. And then you think about the talent that stems off of them. So, Phil Scarfone, who's the running the Banda Volpe culinary program. worked for David Hawksworth, who worked for Michelle Jacob. So the fingerprints go across the province. There's dozens of people. So the intention is to tell that story, his impact on the city, and also this restaurant that he loved and worked so hard at.
What was the most challenging thing to do while filming that?
Staying out of the way, big, because you're in there with 3 cameras, you got a boom mic, and then, you know, like I'm saying, get that shot and come over here. And then there's also like my hospitality gene wants to run a plate, ready to run, chef. And actually on the last night, I said to him, I was like, how do you feel? Like, he's like, this is the busiest night we've ever had. We've got more reservations. And I go, hey, I'm not doing anything else tonight. We're just filming to see what happens. If you need a runner, I'm ready to run. And he goes, sure, here's a tie. So I get to run.
Are you kidding me? On the last day?
I was on the floor for the last night of his time at Le Crocodile. It was magic. It was so magic. Yeah, it was. I'm getting chills.
Memorable.
Yeah, so the documentary, the next part of it is actually the hardest part, the editing process, and trying to stitch the story together. You know, we had hoped to film with the new Le Crocodile as well, get the opening sequence.
The new speak.
We weren't able to quite get there with Rob and his team, but you know, I'm very excited to see where it's going, and I think that, you know, it's such a magical story that the protege gets to carry on the mentor's legacy, which comes back to what we were saying at the start of the show. Oh my gosh! And tell me a little bit about, just last thing about him. What are you hoping that people get out of this, out of the documentary? And can they? Yes. Yeah. I hope people watch it and have appreciation for how hard it is to be a chef and the sacrifices that it takes. That to have a restaurant for 2 years is hard. 5 years is impressive. 10 years is very, very impressive. 15, so on and so. 41. Woof. And to not lose the standard, to maintain that consistency for 41 years, that the veal and morels were identical every time you went. Right? That is so hard, to not chase the trends, but to stick to what you're good at. And iterate. And iterate and right? Evolve it. Iterate. But like, you still got to play the classics. You know, when Bon Jovi comes to town, I want to hear it. I want to hear Living on a Prayer. I don't need to hear the new song. I don't want to hear the It's like when Lauryn Hill comes in, I'm like, I only want to hear the Fugees. Yeah, hit me with the Fugees, Give me the Fugees, man. Right. This is it. Well, I think it will shape, you know, that legacy, that an iconic restaurant that Le Crocodile is. Yeah. But I think you're going to be doing some really broader storytelling in your future. I have a huge, I feel like that's going to be moving in. Yeah. What's the audience for this? Are you going to tell everywhere where you can see this trailer? So the trailer's on YouTube right now. Go watch it. So check it out on the Chef's Favorite YouTube. I hoped to have the documentary done by the end of this year. I don't think it will be, but by mid next year, I expect that it'll be ready. We're going to shop it, see if we can get somebody to pick it up, whether it lands on, I don't know, Air Canada, whether it lands on YouTube, Amazon, I don't know. We're going to see it. We'll see if it's a good enough story. We're going to see it. But I think at the end of the day that anybody who is in the hospitality business will appreciate it. Anybody that's ever dined at Le Crocodile will appreciate it. And if that's all the people that see it, that's good by me. Obviously, I want the whole world to see it, but at the end of the day, if you love food, you love hospitality, and you love Le Crocodile, this documentary is for you. This is a love letter to the city. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. I asked a couple people that are in the industry to ask what they want to know from you, James. Oh my God. Okay. And so we're going to end up with this and then just a little fire shot for you. Okay. One of the big things that most people have asked me to ask you is, which is a huge part of it, is you obviously see that person doing that, balanced life of the night and the day. What are some tips for some of the people that are in the industry that they can, how to balance the night life and the service business in general? Is it hard? Because it's so hard. I mean, it's a really hard one. When you're surrounded by amazing food, late nights, and alcohol, it's very easy. The road is littered with people that have fallen trapped to it. Well, this is it. Right. And they all said how. Yeah. Ask James how. Or what you've witnessed. Oh, okay. Well, for me personally, I try to mix in a San Pellegrino or a water in between my cocktails. That's good. So that's kind of one of my big ones. But consistency of movement first thing in the morning. Try not to get stuck in a space where you might wake up at 7 a.m. one day and then 10 a.m. the next, and then, that varied wake up time is actually the killer. It's finding a baseline of what the hour is. And so like, I'm not going to ask somebody in hospitality to get up at 6 a.m. every morning, but if they are finishing at midnight, can they get up at 8 a.m.? And can you get up at 8 a.m. consistently every day?
Ooh.
And then can you get up and go for a walk or go to the gym or go for a swim or go to a yoga class? If you can win the morning, you can win the rest of the day. You have to win the morning.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's such a good piece. Yeah. One person asked me, how do you stay relevant in your position in the service business? They kind of, of course you're like yourself, you've gone up these ranks, got on top to the base of where you want to go. They want to know, how do they stay relevant in their position in the high-end service business?
Well,
keep your head down and keep on going, or is it more?
You want to be memorable. You want to have people ask to be in your section if they're on the front of house, right? You want to be somebody that when they are thinking about going for dinner. So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Le Crocodile, Pierre.
We talked about him. I was like, he's been here forever.
Right. So what makes him special? Well, he remembers your name.
Always.
The way he tells the specials, cinema.
Yeah, like
that guy, he could read the freaking dictionary.
Yeah,
I
can
would
you just sit
hooked.
next to me and talk to me all day?
And then just he's got these beautiful little quips, and he's very warm and funny at the table. But I think that one of the things that a lot of hospitality service people get stuck on is they don't know when to leave.
Oh,
so
yes,
Seinfeld,
being intuitive.
When I do trainings, service trainings, I actually use the Seinfeld episode as an example.
Okay.
So when George makes a joke, and then he gets up and he just walks out of the board meeting, that's it. If you're a server and you're at the table and you get a little giggle,
don't linger, get out of there.
Leave them wanting more. Don't follow up with a second joke.
Yes,
you're not that guy. You're not. Be funny once and get the fuck.
Yeah, get the fuck out of there.
Go get the food.
That is so good. I love that. I love that. Okay, and the last one, which is from restaurant owners.
Okay.
What do you see in? I guess I kind of asked this about what trends do you see coming down the line? And what I've seen is, I'm just going to answer your question, is a lot of speakeasies that have popped out in the last little bit. Is that going to continue, or there's like so many trends that are starting to?
Speakeasies are always fun when you know about it and nobody else does, right?
Yes.
But if you're a speakeasy and nobody knows that you're there, then you're just an empty bar.
It's so true.
Right?
It's like, what do you got here?
Yeah. So I think that it's going to be more of a focus on smaller menus.
Okay.
Better food, smaller cocktail list, better cocktails.
Love that.
I think that's where the trend is going. And that's purely because of the market environment that hospitality has to exist in. Like this city's. Can I swear?
Yeah, go.
This city's fucked for hospitality.
I know, like seriously.
It's brutal. Like, we just saw what happened with the liquor strike. Brought the industry to its knees. You've got people trying to open restaurants. Listen to this one. You open a restaurant, you have to start on with your lease, with your rent. But landlord. you can't apply for your permit to do the renovation until you've started the lease.
Yeah.
And then you don't know if the permit's going to be 6 weeks or 6 months, which often it's closer to 6 months than 6 weeks. And really the permit process is just somebody ticking boxes at an office. And so when you open a restaurant, you have a war chest, right? Like you have money that is built up to be able to pay for things along the way, but you're not factoring in that you have to pay rent on an empty space for 6 months while you sit there and wait. So you're so far behind.
You're so
before
depleted.
you've even opened the doors. And God forbid the oven goes down in the first week once you do get open after you've spent all the money on the rent for the last 6 months waiting for the fucking permit. So that's just one.
Oof.
We haven't even touched the liquor board, insurance, rent control. Like it's, and again,
support guys, support
the industry,
these guys.
And this is why I say that this is why we started Chef's Favorite, because I don't have the stones to open my own restaurant in this city.
No way.
You have to live and breathe your business and your baby just to scratch out a living, and it's so hard. And that's why we started Chef's Favorite, was to support the industry, to let them know that we're cheering for you, and that, there's real people behind these. Going to a restaurant and leaving a shitty review doesn't help anybody.
No, please don't.
Doesn't help.
I hate that.
No.
I hate when people walk in there and then I hear somebody say, I'm going to leave a bad review. Who does that?
No, it doesn't. It's not helpful. If you're having a bad experience, you got to tell the server at the time. Tell the server. Because then you're giving them an opportunity to fix it. And if you go for an experience and you don't have that opportunity to express it, send an email to the general manager or to the owner.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
It goes so much further.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
And don't make it thoughtful, make it intentional, and just explain your situation. If you get a response that's, rude, fine. Then they've made their bed, but at least you've given them an opportunity to try and fix it.
Sometimes people forget that the restaurant business, you would do it at a hotel, but you wouldn't do it at a restaurant. But hotels and restaurants are the same thing, just so you guys know. It's the service misses as a whole. Spas, hair salons, all of them are all on the same service level. Yeah. So take a moment and just write to the people who are actually working their butts off.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Power questions. What's your favorite speakeasy?
Oh, favorite speakeasy.
Okay, yeah. So we're shifting. We're shifting the chef's favorite to you, James. It's James' favorites. Everyone wants to know. What's your favorite speakeasy in the city?
I am a big fan of what they're doing at Bagheera. I think they're really fun as far as the speakeasy goes. The stockroom's not too bad.
Okay.
Behind Hundy Burger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
definitely
fun. There's a place, I can't actually remember the name of it. It's such a speakeasy. It used to be under, in the alley off of...
It's like Abbott.
Yeah, and it was
down.
Underneath.
I know.
And what's my guy's name?
What was that old French restaurant that used to be there? There was a French restaurant.
So anyway, he moved. He's got a new little underground spot. I haven't been to the new spot.
Here we go. We need to know what chef's favorite. It might come up. Okay, your favorite high dining experience ever. Ever.
Oh. I was really, really lucky to have an amazing meal at restaurant Daniel Balloud's restaurant in New York last year. Because we interviewed Chef Balloud for the documentary, for the Crocodile documentary. Yeah. So we went to New York and interviewed him, and then he said, "Why don't you come for dinner?" And he set us up in the restaurant. And honestly, this meal was just it was like
music.
It was like a ballet.
Yeah, it's music. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, and then locally, I'm a big Annalena guy.
Yeah.
Annalena is actually a fundamental part of the chef's favorite story. That's where I went and I worked for a summer just to feel something again when it was so depressing during COVID. And they were reopening and they just needed somebody with hospitality acumen to clean the toilets. And that's what I did and ran food.
Amazing.
And they reignited my passion for hospitality to the nth degree because they care so much about every little detail along the way. And so for me,
it's hard to get into that restaurant.
It's a tough restaurant to get into.
But I want that bread and that pate.
I'm telling you. So for me, locally, Annalena.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, what is your go-to secret line for people to get rezos? A lot of people are wondering how to get rezos in the city, especially leading into winter. I've noticed this. They're like, we can't get a rezo for 6 months. We can't get a rezo. Is there a secret, or is it just
No, there's not a secret line.
Or is it just to walk up to the restaurant? Because that's, I think, my thing. Bar.
So my one of my things is online reservation systems are limiting. Restaurants always have tables that they have flexibility for.
Okay.
So for me, I'll call the restaurant and ask to speak with the manager. Okay. This is without saying I'm James Grass from Chef's Favorite, but just to say, hey, I'm looking for a reservation for this weekend for 4 people. Is there any flexibility? Is there anything that's open? And they might say, yeah, there is for at 9 p.m. So you have to kind of be willing to eat late, or sometimes you have to be willing to eat early, or sometimes you have to be willing to eat at the bar.
I like them all.
And they're all good options.
I like them all, FYI.
And people get weird about sitting at the bar.
What?
Yeah.
It's my favorite place.
It's the best. One of my genuinely favorite things to do is I'll go out by myself.
Me too.
And I'll go visit 4 or 5 restaurants and sit at the bar, have a dish, have a chat. Next one.
You will I feel like it's this way to go. You'll find me at Nook.
Yeah.
Having a rigatoni and Negroni if I'm having a bad day.
Yeah. That's the clue. If I ever see you at Nook, I'm like, come on, Margaret.
A deal fell apart.
Let me get you another Negroni.
Something happened. Okay, so tell me where you would take Kelly out for a night out.
Multiple stops.
Okay, multiple stops.
So I'm loving Commercial Drive right now. Mm-hmm. So I always go to Bar Corso.
Beautiful.
So Bar Corso, in my opinion, has the most underrated Italian food in the city and a sneaky good cocktail program. People think that they only do cocktails.
That's right.
Their food program is unbelievable. Truly.
Pasta.
Unbelievable. They've got pasta, they've got crostinis, they've got all sorts of stuff.
Okay,
Cicchetti.
we're doing.
It's like that Italian snacks.
Italian snacks.
So I'm loving commercial Nomo Nomo, which is by Benedict Lim of Lunch Lady. That's just open, so very cool there.
We're cheering them on.
Magari is right there, and then I'd probably head back into the city for a cocktail at Mio, or maybe June's crushing it right now. So if you haven't been down to June, they're downstairs. Lala, the room
was there last night.
It
was so good.
The audio. Like the way that they've designed the room.
I feel like what gets you is that there's a bouncer. Like, you know how you just said about the coat check?
Yeah.
There's like a big bouncer.
Yeah.
And I felt really like I was welcomed into
His name's Lucius.
Okay.
And he was the Holiday Club doorman last year.
Oh my God.
And Leticia, the GM, came to Holiday Club. And then she called me in January this year. She said, "Who is that guy? He was amazing." I said, "Lucius." Like, do you think he'd be interested? I said, "Yeah, I bet he would be." So
it actually makes a huge difference. Like, I kind of felt a bit like, okay, I'm in this special space. Yeah. I can't mess this up. Yeah. Like, it's that coat check feeling. Right. It's like, what is there? The
experience has started before you've walked in the room.
And he's so friendly.
So nice.
Like, you think, he's like, oh, you guys have a good night.
He's built like a house, and he's the friendliest guy in the world. He's so nice that even if you're the most aggressive person, you can't be aggressive with him because he's being so nice to you, and he'd also beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, like at the same time.
At the same time.
So you made that happen, my dear. That was so important.
Well, and he's just, like I said, he's just such a good dude. And when I saw him for the first time, I was like, this looks good on you.
It does look good on him.
This is your spot, man.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. People want to know best brewery, best cocktail bar, best wine bar.
Wow.
Not best, favorite.
Thank you.
Favorite is so perfect.
So
intentional.
It is intentional. My favorite brewery, I'm a fan of what Main Street Brewery has done over the years. Mm-hmm. I just got out to Rewind in Port Moody. We just filmed
it's great.
We just filmed a Mates on Crates with Sam, the owner, and they've got an amazing pizza program there. The deep dish Detroit style high top pizza is what it's called.
It's like
they do a really good job. They've got a laser light lager. Mm-hmm. I like light beers.
Okay.
So like I don't I'm a simple guy.
Like a lager or like lagers, a pilsner.
Lagers and pilsners. Like I don't like a beer that doesn't taste like beer.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And one thing that I'm really into is small beers.
Oh, like the mini beers.
Little 6 ounce, 8 ounce beers. Because let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Which half of a 16 ounce beer is the worst? The top half or the bottom half?
It's the top. It's the bottom half.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. It's like having. You're right. It's like me having a short coffee instead of a massive coffee.
So for me, this is one of the things that one of my clients.
It was brilliant.
So I said to them, I was like, "Hey, you sell this beer for $10, 16 ounces. If you sold me an 8 ounce at $6, $1 more, right?
Yeah,
proportionally, I will drink more of those.
Me too.
Because the beer is cold, it's fresher, and I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to drink more of them. But if I have to sit on the last half of the beer and like hate my life as I slug it back,
it's just
and then all of a sudden I don't want to drink another beer.
And every woman just gives it to their husband.
Exactly.
We're just like, here, take the end of this monkey.
Yeah.
End of it. Oh my gosh.
So which I will now tie back into one of my favorite wine bars, which is Dear Gus.
Oh.
So they do a fabulous job, very intentional. And one of the things, Rachel Lee.
Rachel is wonderful.
She's a good friend. And when she was opening it, we were discussing, hospitality philosophy and the washroom journey.
Oh my God, the bunnies.
Right? So like that's a washroom, that's a challenge.
That's
right?
a challenge.
That's a hospitality challenge.
That's right.
How do you make that washroom journey make sense? Mm-hmm. She nailed it.
She nailed it.
So, you go down, you see your little picture of the bunny, the keys there, and you walk out, there's little signs all the way, like really, really smart.
And you laugh
the whole
along the way.
It's great.
And it's so brilliant. Mm-hmm. I love a good wine bar.
Yeah.
And we had one, there was in Gastown, there's still incredible wine bars. There's so many.
Yeah. I will, is that French?
Yes.
Great little spot.
Yes.
Yeah. And then.
And there's a couple cafe wine bar. You know what I'm talking about?
Mark Singson.
Even just another.
Mark Singson just did a pop-up there.
And pop-ups, a lot of pop-ups happening.
What's it called?
Now we're going to figure this out.
Bar Tartar.
Bar Tartar. Yeah.
That was the one. That was the
exactly.
the
Fantastic.
Okay, sorry. The
best
next
venue. Last one. Best venue to hold an event in Vancouver. Let's go gala level.
A gala level. I mean, soft spot. Vancouver clubs.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd do that.
Yeah,
I think it's a special spot.
It's special. Yeah. The Grand Ballroom at the Vancouver Club is truly magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And there's some other really great spots around the city, but for me, Vancouver Club's Grand Ballroom will always have my heart.
Oh, okay. James, thank you for joining us on Get On Top. That is it.
Thank you.
And we're going to watch you along the whole way. And I'm definitely going to be cheering you on big time with a cocktail and a wine in the hand.
Yeah. Say hi.
Thank you.